not the conversation that is had with Black women. Even if you see this with the
talk with your Black girlfriends and tell them that. Tell your Black girlfriends to do that. You need to tell your Black girlfriends to do that. I'm not going to let you overtalk it. We're not going to overtalk it. You need to tell your girlfriends to stop protecting Black men when they shoot and beat you. That's what you do. If you don't do that, it's going to work. I can talk all day long over you. I don't have a problem with that. You got to start.
I wasn't done talking, so you're not talking over. I'm not talking over you. You're talking over me. That's number one. That's number one. And this is exactly what the Black community is where it is.
You need to tell your girlfriend.
As soon as we have conversations like this, Black men get upset.
You need to tell your girlfriend.
But understand, that's why you're getting upset about it.
We're back with another misandrist, this one from Comedy Hype. The argument started over the discussion on the Tory Lanez and Meg Thee Stallion case. Meg Thee Stallion, she's been in the courtroom Amber hurting her way through it all. Her inconsistencies and selective amnesia really messing up her credibility, and it's just not a good look. But even if Tory is found not guilty, you have people like this woman here still saying that Tory is wrong for not protecting Megan in the situation. Bringing up Shanquella Robinson, being emotional and illogical like most people like her. We're going to get into it, but first take a second to make sure that you're subscribed to the channel and click the notification bell for all updates.
I think that it has shown very obviously that there is a very consistent divide, and not only just the hip hop community, but the Black community amongst men and women. There is a lack of protection, love, and consideration when it comes to Black women, and especially in the midst of violent acts. And it's quite sad to see it unfold, and it's quite sad to see this play out for somebody who is, trying to be an example of women empowerment and, esteem for young girls and things of that nature, and someone who just recently lost their mother. So, I really feel bad for Megan during all of this time.
It's crazy they believe that popping thought pockets is female empowerment. Let's be honest. Black women are protected the most out of everybody else in the Black community, even over Black children. Just did a story on that the other day. A Bronx mom offers her 2 baby boys, the family and everyone else standing by the mom. People in the comments standing by the mom have zero care about those babies, didn't even acknowledge what happened to them. We're talking about innocent kids because they're too busy trying to avoid holding the person who did that to them accountable. And no, Meg Thee Stallion is not a positive role model for girls and women. Instead, she's encouraging them to indulge in 304 activities, hot girl activities, promiscuity, senseless heavy drinking, putting themselves in vulnerable situations. And yes, it's sad that she's lost her mother, but that has nothing to do with this case. This case is about one thing and one thing only. Did Tory Lanez do this? Yes or no? Guilty or not guilty?
The problem is, and this is why I'm so vocal, and I'm such a loud, big Bertha with one of my cats. Shout out to in the back, and I got 2 cats. Because there is a time in which Black women are sort of indoctrinated into this idea that we need to be loyal. And I do believe that Black women, to answer the question, we are disproportionately more loyal to Black men than Black men are loyal or protective to Black women. Mm-hmm. Black men divest out of the community at a disproportionate rate to Black women. You'll be hard pressed to find Black women who are looking at the stats of just available Black men who are healthy, not in prison, not on drugs, not doing this, and say, maybe we should open our options out to other men of other races. It's hard for Black women to do that. Black women still haven't done that. That shows our loyalty.
And the Black misandrists always have the conversation telling Black women to stop being loyal to Black men, telling Black women to leave Black men alone, go to other men. Here's the truth that none of them will tell you, but they all know this already. Black women as a group, they don't go out dating all these other men because most of them can't. As a group, Black women are not the least likely to date outside of their race because of loyalty. Black women are least likely to date outside of their race because men of other races find Black women the least desirable out of all the races of other women. So she's right when she says it's hard for Black women to date outside, but she's not going to tell you the truth about why. You can try to date outside all you want, and a few will be successful. There are a few men of other races interested in Black women for more than relations. But what they don't tell you is that those numbers are extremely low because Black women will have to compete with other races of women for those men. Those men are not just lined up for Black women. And when they're all lined up, Black women are not number one for them. The only men as a group that will consistently put Black women as number one will be Black men, and that's the truth. In all races, people are more likely to date their own anyway.
So let's also understand that we are going into a new, very toxic environment of misogynoir. We have a lot of men who have, and this has been the influx of these Samuelites, these Kevin Samuel men who constantly have a problem with women, constantly these men who are, I'm going my own way, and women are this and this and that. You got red pill niggas, you got Mansfield niggas. There's like an uptick in the way that men vehemently hate women, especially Black women, continue to say that we don't take any accountability, continue to act like we are the problem and the scourge at all times, and also understand that Black women, in the attempt to reach Black men, to see where they're coming from, we are also now attacking one another in hopes that we just, when in Rome, do as the Romans do.
It's really an uptick in Black men coming together and comparing notes, acknowledging the toxic, disrespectful behavior that they've grown accustomed to. And like they've been saying for years, Black women are out of order, but now other people can see it, even other Black women. And it's not hating Black women, it's just that men are not putting up with their attitudes, especially men who have themselves together. They're not putting up with their mouths. They're also calling them out for their violent behavior. Men are almost always held accountable to a higher degree than women, and then women are almost never held accountable. These misandries, they love spewing out these points of Black women suffering at the hands of Black men, but they never discuss how Black men, Black kids, and even Black women suffer at the hands of Black women, and no one will do anything about it. If a man did something to a woman, if he did it or not, just being accused, he will be held accountable for it. Everyone will hold him accountable. The community, the courts, everyone. The Black woman, though, like Sister Shahrazad Ali said decades ago, the Black woman is the only one that cannot be corrected.
That comes from the type of woman who has been, she's a big girl, she's tall. We have to remember that in the Black community, and Black men will say it themselves, all you got to do is look at the comment section for comedy height. They'll tell you 100 different ways why I don't need to be protected and why I don't deserve a man. Because I'm fat, I'm overweight, I'm old, I ain't got this, don't no man want me. Like these men categorize what protection is for Black women based on vanity and aesthetics. And unfortunately, this culture that Kevin Samuels created, where is post-wall if you're over 25 or 30, if you got kids, unrealistic things that if you are a person living life, you probably will have children. You are going to get, everybody's getting older every day. So they become unrealistic things that women are now trying to figure out. I can't go against these things that are natural to me.
Well, stop fighting and surrender. The real reason why people tell you that you can't get a man is because of your attitude and mindset. You have deep disdain for Black men. You present yourself on this show as a textbook misandrist. The misandry seeps out of your pores. And whatever you've gone through in the past is written all over you because you carry the baggage with you daily. It's attached to your body, it's in your brain. The biggest thing that's keeping you single with your cats is your inability to get along with a man, respect a man, and bring peace. You bring war, not peace. This will make it hard for any man to put up with you. And when you're hard to deal with, men will less likely look over your flaws. You could take a woman looking just like you, but if she's still feminine and she's cooperative and she's pleasant, she's going to get better results than you because you're none of that. So stop saying that it's just about your looks. It's your attitude, ma'am.
So we continuously look at Black women that we are supposed to be the pillars holding up everybody, and no one is there to hold us up. We are supposed to accept oppression from everyone, be there for everyone, and then when it's time for us to cry or be vulnerable or to be treated like women, nobody expects us to want to be treated like women. And then they wonder why there is a culture of Black women who are outspoken, who are independent, who have decided to take care of themselves. Because we have to also understand that we are a part of a community. As much as these Black men want to say whatever they say about Black men doing this and doing that, our community is marginalized. We are not economically showing up in the system. We are not socially showing up in the system. We are still economically and socially disenfranchised. So imagine if Black men are having a problem doing what Black men need to do or feeling like they're moving forward in the structures of the community. or amongst races in society. Imagine how Black women are feeling not being able to be protected by the men in their culture. We can't depend on them to be providers for us. We can't depend on them for anything.
Yeah, and for the Black men with their stuff together, why aren't women like you able to get with them? You're so busy being masculine that you have lost all your feminine traits. And cut it out, Black women aren't holding up anything. It's the Black matriarchy that's been leading Black households for decades now, and that has completely destroyed the Black community. They have raised their daughters to be men, and they have raised feminist sons.
That's why you have such a large group of independent Black women who are getting their education, being entrepreneurs, buying their own homes, taking care of themselves. There's no protection, and no case shows this as much as this Megan Thee Stallion, because instantly it was conversation about she's lying, he didn't shoot her, why is she doing this to him, all of these things. Very little has been said about this man who is part of this bigger, larger conversation. And even if at the end of the trial it is determined that he didn't shoot her, it was the friend, all I know is there was a man there, and there was a man not showing up in a presence of danger. And we have to also look at that in the Shaquilla Robinson case.
No way, stop trying to invoke emotion from the Shanquilla case. The reason why people said that Meg Thee Stallion was lying is because she's been inconsistent throughout this whole process. She first came out and said one thing, then she came out a second time, said a different thing. Even if people overlook that, she continues to be inconsistent with her story. From her interview with Gayle King and now her testimony on the stand, all of it is inconsistent. People are looking like, okay, if you told the truth to Gayle, that means you're lying on the stand now? Or did you lie that other time and now you're telling the truth? Did you lie on Instagram and now you're telling the truth? And what the testimony from her best friend revealed is that Megan was being belligerent and a lot of lies are being unraveled. And basically, this woman right here is saying, even if we find out that Tory didn't do this to Megan, it's still his fault because he was supposed to be protecting her as a man. Like, what are you talking about?
That's not the conversation that is had with Black women. Even if you see this with the—
Well, talk with your Black girlfriends and tell them that. Tell your Black girlfriends to do that. You need to tell your Black girlfriends to do that. I'm not going to let you overtalk it. You're not going to overtalk it. You need to tell your girlfriends to stop protecting Black men when they shoot and beat you. That's what you do. If you don't do that, it's no good. I can talk all day long over you. I don't have a problem with that. You got to start.
I wasn't done talking to you. I'm not talking over you. You're talking over me. That's number one. That's number one. And this is exactly what the Black community is where it is.
You need to tell your girlfriend.
As soon as we have conversations like this, Black men get upset.
You need to tell your girlfriend.
But understand, that's why you're getting upset about it. Because it's the same way as when I said that, Pierre. Now
I'm not going to let you finish. You're not going to finish over me. You're not going to finish over me. And that's fine. You're not going to finish over me. I'm going to overtalk you. Stop getting your ass.
We're going to get the final. Y'all get a chance. We're going to give you a chance to do
final. No space for Black women to be safe when Black women are telling Black men how they feel and how vulnerable they are, and then we get antagonized. Then you got these brothers over here laughing.
Where can I speak, man? John, if I can't speak,
put final thought. Hold on. Don't do that, Pete. Don't do that, Pete. Hold on.
That's totally fine. I was talking. You understand? He talked over me.
Yes, and ma'am, you're out here talking, repeating the same rhetoric that these Black misandrists have been repeating for the longest. Here's the real problem. You have Black women like her. They say they've gone through things. They see a story like this, and then they use it as an opportunity to take out whatever anger they have about their own personal issues on the Black man in this case. And it doesn't work like that. Tory will be found guilty only if they can prove beyond reasonable doubt that he did what she said that he did. They have to convince a jury. That's it. And then you can't say stuff like, well, if he didn't do it, it's still his fault. No one is going to take you seriously. And you should really get real help for your issues instead of using this Meg Thee Stallion case as your therapy. If you want to check out the full video, the link is below. She went on and on for nearly 40 minutes. It's just crazy. Special thank you to our sister Keita G. I appreciate you, Keita, for all of your support. Keita always representing for the Black lawyers. Also, shout out to the brothers Dark Power and Michael for your contributions to the channel as well. Don't forget that you can support this channel as well. Links to Cash App and PayPal are below. Ladies, fellas, want a balanced analysis, want the truth from a woman's perspective? Then you're going to want to subscribe to this channel and don't forget to like and share.